So now that you are done with all that you need to do before you start your flight training, exams, medicals, money, all that good stuff, money, yeah, that too. You won a lottery or your parents agreed to sponsor your flight training or you are using your hard-earned money for the same. It's finally the time to select the right flight school, right? The most exciting part of pilot training is flying. I'm almost nostalgic. You might be having questions like, where should I do my training from? India, USA, Canada? Which flight school? Why this one? Why that one? We'll talk about all of that here. So let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is Wing the Engineer for you, and today we will be going over the top 5 things to consider while choosing the right flight school. At the end of the video, I will be sharing with you a recommendation of a flight school that fits into mentioned parameters for your conventional pathway flying. All points are equally important, hence do not neglect any of them. Starting with number 1, the ratio of aircraft to instructors to students. Now some might say that, yep, we need more aircraft, fewer students in a flight school so that we get more flying and finish training faster, right? No, wrong. There's a sweet spot for this. The flight school must have sufficient number of students to sustain its operations and cost. Just imagine, if the flight school doesn't have enough students, then the school won't be able to stay in the business. On the other side, if there are too many students but not enough instructors and aircraft, then obviously your flight school will take slightly more time. I would say 5 students per aircraft is a good ratio. Also, the size of fleet does matter. The flight school that you choose from, make sure they have a minimum of 25 aircrafts. The flight school that has this big of a fleet usually knows what they are doing. Moving to number 2, financial stability of the school. I remember speaking to a friend of mine back in 2018. I was going for my cadet training and he was already doing his flight training. One fine morning, this guy texted me saying, bro, my flight school just got bankrupt. I have paid my full fees to the flight school and flight school band ho gaya. Can you imagine? He almost lost all his money and only got some of his money back after years of writing emails, lawyers and whatnot. So make sure that you choose a financially stable flight school. People are trustworthy and not luring you into things for their own monetary advantage. Make sure that the flight school is in business for at least 10 years minimum. Moving on to number 3, where to do it from. I have done my flight training in Central Florida, United States, and I would say it's one of the best places to get your flight training done. Moving on to number 4, quality of training, maintenance of aircraft and safety of flying. Make sure the flight school that you are going to offers an Indian DGCA flying program, because ultimately you need to convert your Indian license to DGCA CPL if you are planning to fly in India. Furthermore, their training standards should be high so that you can receive the best training. Moving on to number 5, good accommodation. The accommodation should be located within 10 to 15 minutes of the flight school so that one spends lesser time to commute. It should be equipped with basic household equipments like Wi-Fi, stove top, washing machine, heater, air conditions, etc. So those were the 5 parameters I would consider while selecting a flight school. I am L3 Harris Cadet and it's a great flight school. But I also want to be able to give a recommendation for aspiring pilots that are looking to do their flying in the conventional pathway. So I did my research and that recommendation is Paris Air in Vero Beach, Florida. During my time in Florida, I have flown to Vero Beach several times where Paris Air is located. All the points that I mentioned just now, Paris Air checks all those boxes. I personally spoke to the past students from Paris Air. If you are looking for a flight school for flying abroad, I am convinced that Paris Air is the go-to flight school for the conventional pathways. If you are interested to know more about Paris Air Flight School and start your flying, click on the link in the description below. Last but not the least, one important thing is there are many agents present in the market who want your money and trick you to get into a flight school which is cheap. And once you go to that flight school for training, you could lose all your money because they won't have proper aircraft, nor the training standards would be met for commercial license. I don't want any of my subscribers to lose their hard-earned money. So if you want recommendation or reviews for particular flight school, please feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram. Thank you for watching. We'll be coming up with new videos soon.